In South Africa now, South Africa's fiscal debate has taken a dramatic turn after a court ruling dealt a setback to the government's attempt to adjust the value-added tax. The case centered on whether the finance minister could unilaterally implement a temporary VAT increase before full parliamentary approval. The controversy followed plans by Finance Minister Enoch Godongwana to raise VAT from 15% to 15.5%, a move that triggered political backlash and legal challenges from opposition parties. The dispute has now moved into the courts, raising broader questions about fiscal authority, tax policy credibility, and how governments balance revenue needs with democratic oversight. Clive Ramathibela-Smith, Senior Executive Partner, Hecare Capital Partners, joins me for more on this. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Good afternoon to you and to the wonderful people within the African continent and the world watching through.
Thank you. Now talk to us, what's your reading of this judgment?
Well, apart from the fact that you and I are matching, I can only say just it has come as no surprise, first and foremost. I think one of the reasons why we continue to suffer in South Africa is because there's a disparity between the have and have not. So the inequality issue has come to bear. And the Democratic Alliance, which is formerly the opposition to the African National Congress in Parliament, took this case on review following the first two attempts by the African National Congress-led Finance Department to try and make sure that they keep the VAT up by firstly 0.5% and then later on another 0.5%, which would have meant that our VAT would have come to about 16%. Just remember, it's not long ago that South Africa experienced the new 15% VAT increase. And so while we're still getting around that, now we're told that it has to go up again by another 1%. And so the Democratic Alliance decided to take that case to court. And the result only comes after the elections and after they actually are in a government of national unity, meaning there's a coalition of political parties that are heading the South African parliamentary setup currently. So what was that going to mean in actual fact in the bigger scheme of things? It would have meant that obviously that the fundamental finding was on the basis of who has the right to actually increase VAT in the country? Is it National Treasury through the Department of Finance? Is it the president in the executive part of it? Or was it supposed to be a collective decision? And the court, rightfully so, in accordance with the Constitution and the Section 7(4) of the VAT, are ruled to be unconstitutional if the entire parliamentary sitting is not approving the new VAT rate. So that's what, unfortunately or fortunately, depending on how you look at it.
But how do you look at it? I mean, I would like to know how you look at it.
I think it's a political punch to the African National Congress, first and foremost. The fact that they've been able to make decisions unilaterally because they've been running government for the last 30 years, that has come to change following the 2024 national elections. And so their arrogance was caught in this particular case because they wanted to push a budget that was not unilateral, that was not consultative, which was not in line with the South African budgetary constraints. And on top of everything else, I think it became evident that they've not consulted with the parties that they were going into coalition with, which is very sad. So they were exposed, unfortunately. And really, for me, this going to court was just a demonstration of the Democratic Alliance trying to show that you don't have rule and power over what happens in the national dialogue anymore. You have to consult with other people so that you can make these kind of important decisions. And so it's a win for the Democratic Alliance. It's a win for the economic freedom fighters, but most importantly, it's a win for the South African consumer and South African citizen who realizes that if that had not been the case, we would have been sitting with an extra 1% of VAT on top of our taxes.
But is it really 1%? I thought we're looking at 15.5 here, which is 0.5%. And somewhere I was tempted to ask you if that is significant. But let's leave that. We've got a lot to cover. Now, we've still got the budget deficits to deal with. So what are your recommendations? What do you think the government will be doing to address that?
there's three things that are very critical in the last 12 months of this government of national unity that have been evident. One of the leaders of the Democratic Alliance, or the leader of the Democratic Alliance, since the Democratic Alliance is going on to the election this year for a new leadership, has been forced out simply on the basis that they're not comfortable with him and the cozy relationship he's enjoyed with the new government of national unity. What's interesting in his resignation, my sister, he mentions the successes that the new administration has had, the seventh administration of the South African parliamentary government. He says that the economy has improved. Correct. He says that the debt has decreased. We saw that in the budget speech that happened a week ago, that indeed there's been some successes in the budget constraints coming down, especially on debt. And one of the things that we've noticed as well is the strengthening of the South African rand against the US dollar. We've also realized, even though it's a really small dent in the ocean of unemployment that we're experiencing, but there has been job creation over the last year compared to others. So this positive things now, Mr. Godongwana can't dispute because he's in a government of national unity. So it's been a good thing to have a government of national unity, both for the economy and the South African citizen.
All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Clive Ramathibela-Smith, Senior Executive Partner, Hecare Capital and Partners. Thank you for your thoughts on the show today.